Matt Brown. Guys, if you like this program, I really encourage you to go find Matt Brown, right? He's talking more. He's like this secret analyst. I mean, he's the guy that you wouldn't think was going to go on and be an analyst. I listen to him almost every time he does something. He was talking about Belal Muhammad. Now, it is relevant because this is Matt's weight class, right? If anybody has the right to an opinion at 170 pounds, it's a guy that went out and earned that right at 170 pounds. And what did Brown do? It was a 7-fight win streak he was on, or was it an 8-fight win streak that he was on? That close to getting the title opportunity. So, he could probably relate with Belal specifically, but essentially Brown was saying that Belal is the dark horse of that division. That's the guy. And he did make a comparison, and it was to Chimaev. He said he could beat Chimaev. This is the guy. Now, what do you think of that? And I got asked this question by my producer, Ryan. He says, is Belal the dark horse of the division? I had a hard time saying yes. Now, I agree with everything that Matt's saying, and I agree with the premise. I don't think it's a dark horse. I just don't think it's a dark horse. What is Belal on? It's 7 or 8. His next fight's going to be like 9 without a loss. And then you got to go back and see what he did there, right? He stopped Leon Edwards' win streak. That can be wordplay by me. Sure it is. But it's accurate, and I'm going to throw it in there. Belal Muhammad became a main event fighter and then stayed there, and he beat Vincenzo Luque, who was the number 1 contender, and that part seems to get left out. This isn't Chael's opinions. This isn't UFC.com or MMA.tv's opinion. Vincenzo Luque whipped everybody's ass and then got brought out to Madison Square Garden and weighed in for Colby Covington versus Kamaru Usman Part 2. He was ready to slide in 24 hours later in a main event and contest for the World Championship. That's what a number 1 contender is. Belal beats him. Belal gets put in one of the most difficult spots. I don't know if Belal will ever be returned to as difficult of a situation as he just came through. And again, he gets no credit for it. Belal Muhammad, a multiple-time main eventer who stopped Leon Edwards' win streak, who took out a number 1 contender, who got in the 5-round club, who headline shows, gets relegated to an undercard opposite of 15-0 Sean Brady, who nobody was willing to fight. Which is why Belal was willing to go out there and do it. There is such incredibly massive pressure. There is nothing good that's going to happen. Let me ask you right now, what was the bump that Belal got? What good happened? The match is over. It was a finish. It was a TKO. What good happened? And it's not Belal's fault, right? There was so much energy in the room that night, all the air gets sucked out of it, and he's 6 fights from the end. It's just one of those situations. Sometimes you get called upon. Got to go into one of these spots where, man, tonight I just got to win. I got to get this over with, and I got to win. If I lose, my fall is going to be catastrophic. If I win, I'm running sideways. Not where I wanted to be, but it's where I'm at. He didn't get his credit for it, and he should. And I just share that with you. I don't know that he's going to go back to a harder spot. Like, if you put him opposite Chimaev, sure, that's a lot of hard work to do. But when he's in the locker room beforehand, there isn't a physical element. There's getting your mind right and a mental element. I don't think that situation is more difficult than going in against Sean Brady, who, if he beats you, Sean is going to bounce. I mean, meteorically. If you beat him, you run sideways. Hard spot. Really, really hard spot that most guys that have earned and worked their way to Belal's level just simply wouldn't agree to. They just wouldn't agree. And I could give you examples of guys who have agreed, and if I was to finish the thought, they found a way before the fight to pull out. Wouldn't you know? Oh, boy, that darn shoulder's acting up again. All right. Fair enough. I'm just sharing with you that Belal didn't do it. I don't know that I could call him a dark horse. No. I think he's a racehorse, is what I think. I don't know how far it can go. I know they'll repackage about every decade and shove it down your throat. Essentially, the laws of attraction. I mean, essentially. The powers of positive thought. And it gets a little bit annoying, but sometimes you see it, and you can go read a book like The Promised, or you can go check out another version of that some other jerk wrote. Or you can just watch Belal Muhammad do it. I mean, he largely has talked himself into this. I don't mean he talked his way into opportunities through you guys by out doing media. I mean, he's convinced himself. I don't see anything different within his skills. I don't see anything different within his attacks. He doesn't have a new trainer. He's not at a new gym. He doesn't have different schedules and sparring partners that I'm aware of. He hasn't gone on the alkaline diet and things like this. He started to believe. He started to truly believe it. I don't think he's a dark horse. I think he's a racehorse. I think he's one of the guys at the absolute top. I liked what Matt Brown said about him. I'm not going to do an X's and O's right now and talk about, is he going to beat Chimaev? Let's see if those fights come about. But I know there's massive opportunity, and a lot of guys just don't have the guts to take it. Belal will take it. When that chance comes, he's going to take it. I don't know if he's a dark horse, but he's definitely a stallion.